Hey guys, it's Joe with Sort of Like Golf. So the other day I did a video on the scoring method, and I wasn't quite sold on it at the time. Well, the originator of the scoring method, Coach Will Robbins, he contacted me. He wanted to give me a coaching session to really help me understand how this process should work for high handicap golfers. So that's what this episode's all about. You're going to see Will go through the scoring method and specifically talk about how it can help people that aren't the 6 handicap, the 2 handicap. We're talking about the big handicap numbers. This is for us, and he's doing it just for us. So take a look, and yeah, you're going to love this. Yeah, thanks again for meeting with me today. I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of like give me more info on the scoring method and tell me, like, I did the video before and I was a little bit off base apparently, so set me straight. And from a high handicapper's perspective, how can high handicappers use this to our advantage? We need all the help we can get, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Joe. No, thank you. I mean, first of all, it was so cool because someone texted it over to me and they texted me the link, and I was like, this is awesome. And I was like, someone took the time to go and play 18 holes and do the method. And so I really enjoyed watching it. And, to me, it was great because, again, your goal was shoot 99 that day, right? And
Yeah.
you shot 101,
Yeah.
and you had a 4-putt and lost a bunch of golf balls. So to me, it's like if that 4-putt was a 3-putt and on one of your 8s, you'd have not lost a golf ball, you'd have shot 99 and shot your score. So yes, I get that there were comments about how your swing's over the top and how you need to do this and that. But really the point behind the scoring method is if you said to most people, hey, look at this swing, what do you think they shot today? And how many tops you had and bad shot you about, even 120. It's like, no, if we'd have just had one less, no 4-putt and one less ball, it would have been a 99 or a 98. So to me I think what really the point behind it is that no one teaches scoring. Yeah. They just teach swing. It's your swing. It's your swing. It's your swing. And my thing is, it's like, okay, well, how does Adam Scott shoot 68 on the Saturday of the US Open and on Sunday shoot 80? You think his swing disappeared? Or do you think his tension increased and his anxiety increased and his scoring, started to lose a few putts and chip shots and things like that? So, to me, as I watched you play it, I didn't look at like, okay, yes, you're a closed stance and you swing very steep down the ball. I'm like, I can still easily get you to break 100 with the scoring method and not touch anything about the full swing. And then what was cool was the next round you went out, you shot 91. And I think for those 5 holes, you really got it. You were like, hold on. Like I advanced it down the fairway and I got it onto into the 100. And so for me, Cordy, who produced that content, yes, he's a phenomenal ball striker, right? And he's great. But I made the system that about 15 years ago created it. It was for my 95 shooters to be like, you don't have to be that good to shoot 85. Like, You think your ball striking's got to be good and your greens and regulations got to be high and you've got to hit fairways and you've got to make putts. And I'm like, no, you really don't. You just need to avoid 8s on the scorecard, avoid triples and quads. And so that's really the concept behind it. Is it's more of the high handicap golfer. Now, we use it with low handicap golfers and my college players, etc. But it's really about how do I align my expectations to realize shooting 95 or 85 is really not about striking the ball particularly well. It's about getting better at missing the golf balls.
Yeah. First of all, I definitely love the idea of breaking every hole up into 2 different games. I think that's fantastic. Yep. Because one of the things that I do, and I know a lot of high handicappers do, is we do get like this bad shot here or there, and then it's almost like, okay, well, this hole is over. Well, we're dead now, and so we kind of lose our focus. We lose the focus, and that just kind of, no matter what happens from that point forward, our mind is so gone, we can't, finish the hole, like we end up 4-putting or whatever else, right?
Yeah.
So this definitely has helped me to make it more manageable. Look, I'm not hitting a lot of greens. It would be a miracle if I hit more than 4 probably in a round. So the idea of getting within 100 yards, that's real attractive to me because that is something that I can do. It doesn't say you have to get to 100 yards directly in front of the hole, just 100 yards to the center of the green. And that's something that people like me can do, like typically, usually.
Yep.
And more importantly, if we don't do it, the hole's not over. Now we can just kind of focus on the second part of that, and that's pretty attractive.
Yeah, so there's 2 great points you made there. So the compounding problem. So, the pro says, just take it one shot at a time. I'm like, that the best players in the world struggle to do that, right? Like, you just hit it out of bounds. You just can be like, oh, yeah, no big deal. It's not a big problem. Yeah, no, it's frustrating. So, to me if you split the hole into two, you can stop the compounding problem. Because you bust one out of bounds, get frustrated, hit another one, hit it in the trees. Okay, get up to the edge of the green, but then you're so frustrated, you dunch your chip on and 3-jack from 3 feet and make a 9. But it could have been an 8. It could have been an 8 if you'd just taken, or maybe a 7. If you'd have just taken a little bit more time and lagged it up there. Yeah, you hit a terrible one, but it's an 8 instead of a 9. Okay. Well, if you do that 4 times around, it's 101 is now 97. 97, I broke 100. Yeah. So the compounding problem comes when we get too aggressive off the tee box, right? And then we go ahead and forget about the short game. Whereas the scoring game is everything. That's where you're meant to shave strokes off. And most people sort of get so tired by the end, they're like, whatever. So I think that's the first part. I think the second part, like you said, about greens and regulation. So it's interesting that you said that, because there's an equation that you can do. So for example, your first round when you shot 101, you hit no greens in regulation. I think maybe you hit 1. So what you do is GIR times 2 minus from 95 equals score. Have you ever seen that before?
I saw it in one of your videos. Yeah.
So concept is tour player hits 13 greens around, times that by 2, that's 26, minus that from 95, that's 69. Well, that's their scoring average. So it works really clearly.
Yeah.
So the second round, you hit 3 greens in regulation. Well, 3 times 2 is 6. That's an 89, right? So you shot 91. So actually you drop 2 strokes in your short game.
Yeah.
So what it does is it starts to help you realize that to break 90, it's like, 3 greens in regulation is a miracle. Like, there's no logic to it. So the best players in the world are averaging a 9-iron into the green. A 9-iron, and they do it 13 times. Well, the best player, Scotty, does it 13 times around. Yeah. Everybody else is at 12 to 12.34 around. We're coming in with 3 woods and 4 irons and not even getting close to the green. So the problem is that people think, I have a technique problem. You don't have a technique problem. You have a tension problem.
Yeah.
Because you're told on the first tee, you need to get on that green 350 yards away in 2 shots. But when I tell you, no, you don't. You've got to go 250 yards. You're like, well, I could hit a 4-iron along the ground and 4 hybrid along the ground and go 200 yards. Yeah, of course, go ahead and do it. So what we're trying to do is align expectations by saying, I'd love you to strike one down the middle. I'd love you to knock it in the green. But if you don't, where did it go? Well, I hit a hybrid along the ground about 120 yards. Okay, so if you can hit the next one 130 yards, you'll be inside the scoring zone, and that game is now over. It's done. And now what you're going to do is you're going to try and get down in 3. Now, the beauty is, everyone's like, well, that's too hard and too difficult. But again, it was a shortened version of the scoring method, is if you're trying to make a bogey, but you're not an 18 handicap. So think of this. If you make a bogey, you get a stroke, which brings you from a 5 to a 4, which means you made par. Well, on any hole that let's say you're not a 36, but if you were a 36, you get 2 shots on each hole. So if you made a double, it would be a par. So really, on those longer holes, I'm not trying to get you inside the scoring zone in 2. I'm trying to get you there in 3. Well, what usually happens is most people actually can get it there in 2, but they can't get down in 3, which means you're allowed to get down in 4 and still make a 6 net 4. Does it make sense?
It does, yeah.
So the way the method works is that it helps you to be realistic.
And I will add one thing just quickly. Because you're talking about like getting stressed and getting, bent out of shape, like thinking about, getting on the green and that kind of thing. So the round that I just did that I got 91 or whatever, the first par that I got in that round, I was just trying to get it inside 100 yards. And because I wasn't trying to hit the green, my shot was so much more relaxed, and it just went right up and got right onto the fringe, man. And then from there, I almost chipped in the next shot.
Yeah.
So it's like that's kind of, I think, the knock-on effect of this is that you hit better shots because there's not so much pressure on you to get on that green.
Absolutely. So we call this the second ball golfer, right? Player B. Everyone's a pro on the second ball, and that's why they're frustrated. Because they're like, well, how can I do it the second one? Well, on the first one, you had 7 thoughts going on in your head. You wanted to not miss the water. You had to hit it really good, and then you hit terribly. The second one, you didn't care. You dragged the ball out, you swung it, knocked it on the green. So what are we trying to do? Most people, if they watched your video, would say, he has a technique problem. I say, he's got a tension problem. His expectations are too high, so he's tense. Now, yes, are you still going to be coming over the top a little bit? Yeah, whatever. But you can still compress down on it and get the ball chasing down there. So to my point is, you have a tension issue. Tension, okay, that leads to choking, tightness, bad golf shots. So how do you reduce tension? reduce expectations.
Yep.
So if I just say, well, just who cares? Make a 6 here, just knock it down there, whoosh, straight down the middle. Like, oh wow, that was a good shot. So the concept here is I want to help my students become player B. Yep. What do I got to do? Not get them better technique, because now they're thinking about backswing, and I got to do this, and then I got to do this. Well, that's increased tension. Now, I'm not saying I never work on technique. I work on technique a lot when it's the problem. But to begin with, I just got to get people just being like, look, we're just going to score. I don't care how I do it today. I'm just going to score. And, oh, I shot 91. Woohoo, great. So the scorecard is the coach. The scoring method, the scorecard's your coach. I'm there to facilitate learning.
Right.
So I want my players being like, right, how do I get another check mark? How do I get another check mark? And so really the concept comes down to is that if I reduce my expectations, I let go of tension, I got probably a better chance to hit it a little bit further, a little bit better, maybe not, but I'm not going to give up on the hole, and I'm not looking for a score. Because look, if you were even par through 6, you'd be so nervous, you'd make a 10. But if you went 10, 10, 10, you'd be so frustrated that you give up and go par, par, birdie. So we're not comfortable outside of our comfort zone. So what we want to see is, can you get down in 3? Check mark. Well done. Next hole, start again. Then you get inside the scoring. Check mark. Well done. Go and do it again. So it gets you into a process of being what a pro would do, which is just execute another shot. We're just saying, can we win the next game in front of us? Can you get inside of 100? Oh, I'm 50. Oh, 50. Can I get down in 3? Oh, 4x. Okay, next hole. Can you get inside that? No. Yep. Okay, can you get down in the... So it's this process that allows people to get very freed up, very relaxed, and understand how the score builds and how a strategy comes together.
Oh, that's awesome. And so tell me, if you had one piece of advice for people that were like 25 and above handicap, where should they focus?
Lag putting. Lag putting. That's it.
Tell me more.
100% lag putting. Lag putting. Just lag putting. Because here's the thing: someone who's shooting 71, 72, 73 will have 30 putts around. Someone who's shooting 100 will have 40 putts around to 42 putts around. Okay, so if you can just stop missing putts inside of, 2-3 feet, right? That's pretty easy. But getting it inside of 2-3 feet is difficult. So you can hit a terrible chip shot and lag it up to a foot and tap it in. You can hit a beautiful shot onto the green and 4-putt it. So to me, lag putting gets rid of sins. Like if you're having a bad day and you can get your pace right, it's all about pace. Stop worrying about the read. Learn pace. Because if you get good with pace, you can then chip with a hybrid. So I call it putting with loft. Yeah. Just putt the ball with the hybrid, and you just got a little bit of loft on it, so it'll get over the rough. And now you can start getting the ball closer, which means, guess what? It's easy to have less putts if you're closer to the hole. So to me, as I start everybody, you've got to become a great lag putter. That will stop the scores from leaking up too high. And then you've got to be able to put a ball in play. I don't care how you swing it. I don't care what shape it has to it. Just keep a ball in play. 150 yards in play. This is level 1. There's 4 levels to the scorecard.
Right.
Level 1 is just put the ball in play at all costs.
I am definitely an advocate for playing the correct tee box. I play the golds. I'm only 55, so I'm not even like a senior golfer. But I play the golds, man, because I know my game, and it's not fun for me to hit a good drive down the middle and not make it to the fairway. So why would I do that? Like I don't.
How far do you? What length course do you play? What's your course length?
Well, it depends, but usually right around the high 5s. So on the verge of 6,000.
How far do you hit your 5-iron?
I don't have a 5-iron. I have
hybrid.
My hybrid goes about 150 yards, something like that.
Okay, so you do 150 times 36. That's how long a golf course you should play. So think about this. A PGA Tour player hits a 5-iron 205.
Right.
205 times 36 is 7,400. That's the length of the course. 175, you did 175, you should play 6,300. So you're right around 5,700. So point being is there's data and proof of how this works. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people, they're playing the wrong tee boxes. I don't care what tee box you play, but don't complain about your score. Like if you play in the wind and the rain, you wouldn't be like, oh, I shot 5 shots high today. I can't believe it. It's like, well, it's windy and rainy. It's tough. If you play 500 additional yards, you're going to add 5 to 6 strokes onto your game. That's okay. Like you can play the tips if you want, but add 9 onto your game. Does it make sense, Joe, as far as on a par 3, you have 1 shot to get into the scoring zone, 2 on a par 4, 3 on a par 5?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So like this is what I do with people, right? So let's just say we step up to a par 5. No, par 4, and it's 470 yards. Just a beast. Like, what are most good golfers thinking? There are 2 or 3 handicaps. 470 par 4. What's coming through their head, do you think? But I'm probably thinking, this is a tough hole, don't make a double bogey.
Okay? Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Don't make it like, I got to stripe a driver and then stripe a 4-iron to get on the green. So just don't, a bogey's okay here. Bogey's okay. It's hardest hole on the course.
Yeah.
The next hole is a 468-yard par 5, 2 yards shorter. What are we thinking? I'm going to eagle this thing. I'm going to get on in 2. I'm going to eagle it. It's like, hold on. It's 2 yards different, but one says 5 and one says 4, and it's different. So think of this. You get to that next tough hole. It's a par 3. It's 170 yards, and it's a really tough hole. It's not a par 3 for you. It's a par 4 because you get a stroke. Now, if you were a 17 handicap and it's stroke index 18, you don't get a stroke there. Yeah. But you get a stroke, which means if I told you this hole's a par 4, you'd be like, oh, don't be stupid. Like, that's the shortest par 4 on the planet. This is what... Okay, my expectations of now, it's just easier because I have to get over the water. I can just smash it over to the left there and then chip on and 2-putt to make a 4, make a par. Yes, that's my point. So when you get to a tough par 4 and you're like, oh, it's a tough hole. It's a par 6 for you. You get 2 strokes. So if I told you it's a par 6, you'd be like, I can hit pitching wedge, pitching wedge, pitching wedge, pitching wedge to inside of 100 or probably 50 yards from the green, pitch on and 2-putt, make a 6. I'm like, yeah, exactly. But people don't do that. Their handicap is, oh, I'm a 20 handicap. I shot 100. Oh, God, I shot an 80, net 80. Versus, okay, this hole, it's a tough hole. It's a par 6, even though it's really a par 4 for pros. And you played it that way. Think about that. That's the whole point of the scoring method. Is it's your caddy. It's your caddy. Now, most of us can't afford a caddy, but this is your caddy, and we don't have them at our clubs. But this is your caddy on the tee box. We're like, this is how you should play this hole. If we've got the wrong problem, we'll never get the answer, right? So here's the thing: is golf's not mental; it's emotional. So think about it. The first driving to the golf course, oh, super happy, can't wait. Get there, a little bit nervous, get on the range, start hitting it bad, start to get super anxious, like really anxious and nervous and like, am I going to play good today? And then swing gets quicker. Now you're sweating and you're stressing out. And then you head to the first tee and you duck hook one. Now you're angry and you slam a club and you're frustrated. And then you hit one into the junk and you make a 7. Now you're really angry and depressed and pissed off. And why am I doing this? Next hole, you flush one to 8 feet with a 7-iron. I love this game. Oh my God, this is amazing. I'm great at this game. You then miss the 7-footer and you 3-jack for bogey. Now you slam the club, you walk off the green. So people think it's a mental game. It's not, it's an emotional game. And so what you're trying to do is control your emotional state. So I play my worst golf when I try really hard, overthink, doubt my golf swing, don't trust my swing, overanalyze and get critical. Okay, when do you play your best golf? When I just let go, free myself up, don't overthink, trust it, let go of misses. Okay, so what do most of you do every time you go to a golf course? Right, play good today, got to hit it good, had a lesson on Friday, hope it goes well. I'm like, okay, how'd that go? So you shot 52 on the front 9. What'd you do on the back? Oh, you'll never believe I shot 38 on the back. Yes, I can, because on the back, there was no pressure. You took the pressure off. Or I shot 36 on the front 9. I'm playing the best round of my life today. Expectations go up. I shot 50 on the back 9. So the whole thing here is that people think it's mental, and I understand it's mental because our thoughts create our emotions. Not always, but most of the time. But what we do is we put massive expectations on ourselves, get super tense and tight, play poor golf, and then go, oh, it's technical. No, you had a gun against your head saying don't screw up, or you were choking yourself together saying don't screw up, and then you thought, just think positive. That's the same as me saying to my wife, sweetie, just calm down. It doesn't freaking work. It's like she's going to punch me if I say that. She has an emotional issue with me. She's angry at me, and I say, calm down. Not a good idea.
Yeah.
So what I would say to most golfers is that in the scoring method, what we're trying to teach you is you don't have a technique problem. Now, if you said, Will, I want to shoot 77, I'm like, you got a technique problem. Like, you can't shoot 77 with the way you're swinging it right now. But to break 100, you do not have a technique problem. Okay? Yeah. Then people say, well, golf is mental, so I should just be positive. No, you shouldn't. You should be negative. You're not that good. You can't hit driver off that tee box. Don't take it. And I'm talking about me sometimes.
Yeah.
You can't get 7-iron there. Hit a 6-iron. You're not going to make this putt. The best player in the world makes it 8% of the time. You think you're going to make it? So what we've got to do is not think positive. We've got to think realistic, which is data would say, I'm not going to hit this shot well. Well, then don't hit that shot. And so this is where the third leg of the scoring method is most people play hard and practice easy. And what we say is train hard, play easy. I.e., you go on that putting green, you have to make 10 in a row from 4 feet. On the golf course, who cares if you miss it? It's not a big deal. Just put it in play. On the driving range, you get 10 hybrids in between that 2 20-yard markers, 150 yards minimum. Or if I miss, you start again. and you start again. So you want to put a ton of pressure in when you practice and take the pressure off when you play. But what do most people do? They go on the driving range, hit 75 balls in a row, they hit different shots, they change stuff up, they tweak their swing, and then on the golf course, like this one shot over water, there's a group behind you, you just made a double, and the last hole you hit this club terrible. You're not ready for it. You haven't prepped yourself properly to play. So there's really those three legs, which is you've got to know the real game of golf, right? And the real, you've got to understand the problem, which is it's not technique, it's tension. And then you've got to learn how to train the right way. So that if you have purposeful practice, you're going to get a lot better, a lot quicker. And this is where, we had 10 shots instantly off of people's games within 3 or 4 sessions. Now, again, they're not shooting 77. Yeah. They're shooting 97 and 103 and 105. And we just caddy for them and show them what clubs to play and how to hit a hybrid around the green. And the next thing you know, it's like, whoa, I'm at 91. Like, wow, how do I get better? Well, let's go ahead and work a little bit on the golf swing. Let's work a little bit on the lag putting. Let's work a little bit on chipping. You work on those, it gets now you're at 87, right? Now we've reached our ability scoring. You're not dropping it. You're not having any 3 putts. You're not losing any golf balls. Well, now you got to hit it further. So now let's do some speed training. So do you see what I'm saying? You got to do the real problem first. But most people don't go to the real problem. They just go, swing, fix, go. Let's work on fixing the slice. And I'm like, well, let's put the driver away.
Well, listen, I really appreciate this, man. It's been a real pleasure talking to you, and thanks for setting me straight on the scoring method, because believe me, nobody wants this to work more than I do, right?
Absolutely.
But I think that the people that typically watch Sort of Like Golf are the folks that will really get a lot out of this. We're trying to get under that 100 mark, number one. But then, get down to the point where we're confident and having a great time on the course every time. And I think this will be a big help for that. So.
Brilliant. Joe, this was a pleasure, my friend. It was great times. And keep it up. And I look forward to seeing an 8 in front of that number here soon.
Sounds good. And I will definitely keep you updated on how things go. I'm going to keep using the scoring method, and we'll see where we get to.
Please do.
All right.